still remember the taste of their scorn as if it were a bitter pill lodged in my throat. It was the night of my father's birthday, an event that had turned into an arena for my family's mockery. I stood in the corner, clutching my notes on the hive-mind behaviors of a newly discovered species of beetle, their armor glinting like obsidian in the dark. My family had gathered around the table, laughter bubbling like champagne, drowning out my trembling voice as I tried to explain the significance of my findings. "Look at him," my brother sneered. "The bug whisperer. What's next? A career in pest magic?" Laughter erupted, and my heart sank, heavy with the weight of their disbelief. My mother, eyes narrowed with disdain, chimed in. "You'll disgrace the family if you keep this up. It's unhealthy, delusional even." But I didn't care then. The whispers of the crawling things in the decaying shadows of buildings had become my solace. I had been wrongly accused of releasing invasive pests at my former research lab, shunned by the very people who had mentored me. That night, I chose to retreat into the dark, dismissive laughter echoing behind me. And in that moment, I became the vermin archivist, a documentarian of the unspeakable. Years passed, the sting of their rejection festering like an untreated wound. I buried myself in the study of paranormal infestations, seeking out the grotesque, the bizarre, and the inexplicable. I wandered through abandoned buildings, mapping cursed territories, while the shadows whispered secrets of ancient intelligence, vibrating in a language only I could hear. The world had deemed my obsession absurd, but as the years unfolded, I began to piece together the dark tapestry of existence. My work gained traction. I was no longer the outcast, but a respected figure, albeit one shrouded in warnings. My findings, unsettling rituals of the hive-mind insects, birthed a chilling recognition of a reality that others dared not explore. I had become a beacon for those who sought the truth lurking beneath the surface, but I was also a warning to those who dismissed the darkness. And then came the day I returned home, the familiar house looming like a specter, steeped in memories. I had been invited for a family gathering, a celebration of sorts, an olive branch perhaps, or a last-ditch effort to reconcile. I arrived bearing not just gifts, but the burden of what I had learned. The air was thick with tension as I crossed the threshold, the laughter tentative, as if they were testing the waters of my return. "Look who it is!" My father's voice strained, a forced cheerfulness clashing with the sharpness of his earlier ridicule. "The bug doctor has returned." The laughter felt hollow, and I could see the flicker of discomfort in their eyes as I shared my findings. I recounted the stories of the forgotten places, the infestations that whispered of something ancient, something that pulsed with life beneath the surface. "You must understand," I pleaded. "The crawling intelligences are more than mere pests. They are a collective consciousness steeped in the history of this world." Their disbelief hung thick in the air, a tangible weight that pressed against my chest. But I pressed on, sharing the chilling details of my encounters. How they had drawn me into their rituals, forcing me to confront the horrors of their existence. "I've seen things that—" Before I could finish, the lights flickered, plunging the room into darkness for just a heartbeat. When they returned, I noticed something shifting in the corners, shadows slithering against the walls. My family exchanged uneasy glances, their faces pale. "What's happening?" My mother's voice trembled, her bravado faltering. "I think they've come," I whispered, a shiver tracing the back of my neck. As if on cue, a low hum resonated through the air, vibrating in my bones. The shadows thickened, coiling and undulating, and I felt a cold dread creep up my spine. Suddenly, the walls seemed to pulse, alive with movement. Tiny figures emerged from the cracks, swarming beetles, their carapaces glistening in the dim light, marching as one with a single, terrifying purpose. "They've come to bear witness." I breathed, my heart racing, to the truth. Panic erupted in the room. My family screamed, their voices mingling with the chittering of the swarm. I stood frozen, watching as the insects crawled over the furniture, across the floor, a living tide that flowed toward them. I could see their faces, the terror etched in their features, the realization dawning too late. All the ridicule, the laughter, they were now a distant memory, eclipsed by the horrors I had faced alone. "Help us." My brother cried, but it was too late. The swarm enveloped him, a writhing mass of chitin and terror. My parents stumbled back, their disbelief shattered by the visceral reality of what they had mocked for so long. I could only watch, a twisted sense of vindication coursing through me. The horror unfolded, a dark ballet of nature reclaiming its throne. The walls wept with the remnants of my family's scorn, the echo of their laughter now drowned beneath the hum of the swarm. When silence finally fell, I stood alone, the aftermath of their mockery now a haunting specter. The realization hit me like a tidal wave. I had survived the unspeakable. I had faced the crawling intelligence and emerged with the knowledge of its existence, an existence they could no longer deny. As I turned to leave, the weight of their disbelief still hanging in the air, I knew